friends. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my weekly show. Welcome to my live. I am Marina Shepelsky, and this is my weekly live about U.S. immigration news. I'm here to talk about uh, what's going on in American politics, what's going on with immigration, what can you do if you have immigration knocking on your door, just basically anything to do with immigration and what your questions are regarding immigration. Second, I'm just setting up. Just setting up here for this thing. All right, let's get right into this. Welcome to my show. Welcome. For now, as you're watching this, just drop a line to say hello and where you're watching me from. And if you are in the US and you're an immigrant, please write where you came from and where you live now. That will be cool now because some people will say, I'm from Pakistan, I live in California, in Los Angeles. Or I am from India and I live in Maryland. So that's cool, and I really like to see those comments and give you a shout out. And happy to give you. And I'm going to be reading your comments on my screen on the computer because I'm blind and old. so, just a little bit about myself. If we haven't met before, I'm Attorney Marina Shepelsky. I'm a U.S. lawyer, a court lawyer. I go to court, I go to court hearings, and I have a great team of lawyers. We do visas for people that already have sponsorship. So please don't write to me in the comments you're looking for a job. I don't help with jobs. I help with visas if you have a sponsor. I'll help your sponsor do a visa for you. I'll help you with an asylum case. If you're in US with deportation, ICE detention, a VAWA, asylum, marriage case, all of that, okay? So let's get into the news. I want to talk about what's going on in the US. Unprecedented news. What's going on in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. So, as you know, Trump has said many times that he has an issue with a lot of racial minorities as immigrants, Haiti, Venezuela, and so on. Now, Minnesota and Minneapolis, it's the city of Minneapolis, has a lot of Somalian people there. They're black people from Africa, immigrants, and they've discovered a lot of fraud coming out, embezzlement, stealing money from like federal systems like Medicare, Medicaid, and so on. So they're really aggressively attacking Minneapolis and Minnesota for looking to deport immigrants. Now, a lot of U.S. citizens who live in Minneapolis are like protesting, they're resisting, they're heckling, they're criticizing, they're yelling at these ICE agents, and it's basically like a war between U.S. citizens and ICE agents. Trust me, it's not the immigrants who are protesting. The immigrants are afraid to protest. It is the U.S. citizens, and there's like a war between U.S. citizens, Democrats, left-leaning people in Minneapolis, and the ICE agents. As you heard, a woman was unalived. I can't say the actual word by an ICE agent 2 weeks ago, Renee Good, um, because she was also complaining and almost hit and ran over an ICE agent, and he shot her because he said that he had to do it to feel safe. Um, and she is no longer with us. For 8 minutes, she was still alive. There was news today about this, and the doctor said that her heart was still beating for 8 minutes, and nobody allowed her to get medical help. Although there was a doctor there at the scene who offered but nobody listened to him and nobody allowed him to speak. So there you go. Hello to my friend Sachin Bansal, 8399. Hello to B2 Chi Public. Hello to Gopal Krishnan. Hello to V4 Vasu 1519. BTW, it's Lex says, hi, it's Aishwarya. I'm rooted in India and I stay at Cleveland. Oh, very nice. Hello, welcome, welcome. It's New York 11420 says, what is the meaning of VAWA prima facie letter? Is the proof application? A VAWA prima facie approval means that they looked at what you provided on the surface. It looks like you were satisfying the eligibility requirements. So they give the letter to say you're doing well. Your case is a good case. Now we just need time to process it. And that letter you can use for applying for like free medical insurance or maybe some other government benefit. Okay. So that's really, really good that you received it. Okay. Hopefully that answered your questions. Um, what else is in the news? Now you've heard about the 75 country ban for U.S. So basically, U.S. Department of State announced through social media, basically, that they're freezing all immigrant visas. Now, immigrant visa means that these are visas for green card immigration. These are visas to come to America and get a green card immediately. So basically, freezing the issuance of green card visas to 75 countries. They didn't exactly say what those countries are, but now we know. And a lot of people are worried, but I want to explain that this is only for people who are getting immigrant visas. So spouse visa, like you're married, filing for your wife, for your children, work visas for green card, green cards to work, green cards to talent, green cards to investment from the covered countries: Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Antigua and Barbuda, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bahamas, Bangladesh. Bangladesh is included. Barbados, Belarus, Belize, Bhutan, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Brazil, Burma, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Colombia, Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, Cuba, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Dominica, Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Fiji, the Gambia, Republic of Georgia, Ghana, Grenada, Guatemala, Guinea, Haiti. Of course, Haiti is on this list. He hates Haiti. Iran, Iraq, Jamaica, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, Kuwait, Kyrgyzstan Republic, Laos, Lebanon, Liberia, Libya, Moldova, Mongolia, Montenegro, Morocco, Nepal, Nicaragua, Nigeria, North Macedonia, Pakistan. So Bangladesh and Pakistan are on this list. Congo, Russia, Rwanda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Trinity in Senegal, St. Somalia. Somalia is on the list, of course, who is attacking in Minneapolis and in Minnesota. Sudan, Syria, Thailand, Togo, Tunisia, Uganda, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, and Yemen. And 23 of these countries are already separately covered by the current travel ban. Now, just to remind you, the travel ban that I'm talking about is the presidential proclamation 10949 that he announced on June 4, 2025, that says that certain countries are going to have a problem getting a lot of types of visas too, other visas, not just but tourist visa, student visa, and so on. But the 75 country ban has to do with green card. It doesn't affect fiance visa, student visa, or other types of visas that are non-immigrant, that are temporary in nature, except for the 23 countries already announced before. All right. Now, there's a question from Naresh Kumar on YouTube. Thank you for the question. New visa process I applied in January of 2022. A website, the USA's website shows 2035 estimate. So like time to get the visa. Is it going to be really that long? A lot of things have changed. I didn't get anything about the U visa cap bill. Okay, so nothing is happening with increasing the U visa cap, but realistically, U visa takes 5 or 6 years, which means 2027, 2028. That's the realistic time you should hear the answer about your U visa. Okay, Mr. Chandu 856 says, hi, I'm from India. People are asking me about a work visa. I can help if you have a sponsor. I don't sponsor people for a visa. Jawad says, can somebody apply for Pakistan? You can apply for a temporary non-immigrant visa. Yes, yes, you can. All right. Let's continue with the news. Um, So Department of Homeland Security announced they arrested 7,000 people that are supposed to be gang members from American streets in the first year of the Trump administration. That's good. I'm happy that that's happening. These 7,000 vicious criminals committed heinous crimes. This is what ICE is posting, including murder, drug trafficking, human trafficking, carjacking, so on. A lot of people who were already approved for U.S. citizenship and were just waiting for the oath ceremony. It's a ceremony where you come in, you raise your right hand, and you swear allegiance, swear loyalty to America. Those oath ceremonies are getting canceled. They're revisiting and reviewing again a lot of people's histories. And if you didn't get the passport yet, if you didn't get the oath yet, but you were like approved at the interview for citizenship, they're canceling oath ceremonies and they're like checking a lot of people's cases for that. Uh, a big story again coming out of Minneapolis is that a federal immigration raid went viral this weekend when ICE agents, grabbed and pulled out an elderly man right from his Minnesota home, and they held a gun to his head. They led him out in his underwear in sub-freezing conditions. He is Chankli Tao, 56 years old, and he was a citizen, and he was not illegal. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was in his house. He walked outside, Crocs and underwear, and then they simply returned him home sometime later that day without apology, without explanation. Now, the Department of Homeland Security said they were looking for two convicted illegal immigrant sex offenders at that address and happened to find him. And he was refusing to be fingerprinted or facially identified, so he was detained. I don't believe, by the way, for a second that he was refusing to be fingerprinted or identified. I think they just didn't bother. And basically, they're trying to ruin this man's reputation, but they had no reason to arrest him and they returned him. So that's the news from this weekend. Um, um, Trump administration said they have 1,500 soldiers, U.S. soldiers, on standby for being deployed to Minneapolis to put down U.S. citizens protesting ICE in their streets. Just so that you know, we have regular people, civilians, who are protesting, citizens. ICE is doing in Minneapolis, and Trump is threatening to bring in U.S. Army. The U.S. Justice Department is investigating Minnesota Democrats over alleged obstruction of ICE. Two famous Minnesota Democrats are being investigated over their alleged attempts to stop federal immigration operations in Minnesota, and those are the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. They're getting basically revenge from the Trump administration because they spoke very harshly when unaliving of the woman in the streets of Minnesota, and they're investigating them for trying to block ICE efforts in their city. And these protests again started to be really bad after they killed a citizen in the street, American-born generation, a good of 37 years old. I can't see on the Tiger says, Matt, give me work permit. I don't help people with work permits unless we have a case. So call us, hire us, and we can help you. A lot of people who are in the US could be eligible for something called a T visa. T visa is being forced to work in bad conditions, maybe because you're legal, maybe because you don't have a work permit. But in other words, there are things we could do for you, but I can't sponsor you for visa myself. You need to get sponsorship from an employer. The rest says thank you, Marina, but I see the current your visa is going to be 2017, which is really slow. It'll take a long time to get from mine, which is January. I'm worried I'm stuck here. I understand. I'm so sorry. There's really nothing we can do with the wait times. They're incredibly long. And T visa is also pretty long, but at least there's some hope that you can get a visa. If you're from India, we can help you. If you're in US or if you're from India, um, um, let's see what else. What else I can tell you? There's some good news. It says ICE is freeing, releasing, uh, releasing some families. ICE is freeing and releasing some detained families. Um, why is it blocking me from this website? Some detained families are being freed by ICE despite all the propaganda and all the threats. Uh, Data, quotas, and biometric surveillance are reshaping U.S. immigration enforcement. What looks like randomness in modern immigration enforcement is not disorder, it's design, right? A company called biometricupdate.com. Across the country, U.S. ICE agents and Border Patrol are no longer primarily hunting for specific people accused of violating immigration law. Instead, they're targeting places, neighborhoods, parking lots, workplaces, apartment complexes, and now it's protest sites where data systems suggest undocumented immigrants might be found. So they're using databases and information to look for immigrants in unexpected places. Um, well, new technology is being used by right? What else? All right. Um, Hello from Kodeep, Mina Mom 666. All right, I think that that's all I have for today. If you have a question about your immigration case, write in the comments and we'll try to answer the best we can. Although Nothing we say here is meant to be legal advice, of course. For legal advice, we ask you to make an appointment with our office, schedule a consultation, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you so much. See you next week. No, in 2 weeks. See you in 2 weeks. I'll be away next week. Thank you very much. Bye bye.